Blake Shelton trolls Luke Bryan, saying he's so vain. Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan have enjoyed a very long bromance with each other. Both singers came up in the 2000s country music scene and helped popularize the bro country music genre that flourished in that decade. While the two are close friends, that also means they are more than willing to poke fun at each other. Here is a look at what Blake has said most recently about Luke as he continues to shade his friend. Blake Shelton says Luke Bryan is so vain. Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan have been friends for a very long time. They rose up the ranks of the country music industry together. They both took on roles in singing reality competition shows as well. While Blake was the longest-running coach ever on The Voice, Luke has been a judge on American Idol since its reboot on ABC. Blake recently appeared on Taste of Country Nights and talked to host Evan Paul about his life and what he was doing right now. Of course, they then turned their attention to Luke Bryan. The two still have a rivalry, and this always results in some witty ribbing. Luke mocked Blake's farming skills, and Blake returned the favor. They are both great farmers. However, this time, he talked about more physical activity. Evan asked Blake who would win an arm wrestling match between him and Bryan. Arm wrestling, I dunno, man. Luke could probably beat me at arm wrestling because he's so into his looks and he's so vain like that, Blake answered. I know he roids a lot, so he could probably beat me. It was clearly a tongue-in-cheek response, with Blake explaining that Luke would win but would cheat to do it. Expect Luke to make a response in return when and if he hears about this quote. These two are always willing to turn up the noise when making fun of each other. Blake Shelton working on a new album and a little more serious conversation. Blake Shelton also had some good news for his legion of fans. While Blake has no intentions of coming back to The Voice anytime soon, he is working on new music. Blake said in the interview that he is actually actively working on his new album, and he plans to turn it into the record label soon. While he wasn't forthcoming with any specific information, this likely means that a new Shelton album should arrive sometime in 2025. Blake hasn't released an album of new music since Body Language in 2021. That is also his only new music since 2017, so a new album in 2025 is exciting news for his fans. What are your thoughts on Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan always trolling each other? Are you excited for new Shelton music next year? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan are two of the biggest names in country music, but their relationship has always been as much about playful rivalry as it is about mutual respect. Whether it's friendly jabs on social media or sarcastic banter during joint appearances, Shelton and Bryan have a unique chemistry that resonates not just with their fans, but also with the world of country music at large. One of the more recent and entertaining examples of this banter came when Blake Shelton playfully trolled Luke Bryan, calling him so vain in one of their public interactions. The playful rivalry between Shelton and Bryan is nothing new, and it's something both stars have leaned into over the years. Their larger-than-life personalities are a perfect match for this kind of friendly competition, and their sharp-witted banter has provided fans with countless laughs. In fact, both men have been known to roast each other at award shows, on social media, and even in interviews, all in the name of good fun. Shelton's most recent jab, however, took the trolling to another level by suggesting that Bryan's self-absorption might be a little too real. It all began when Luke Bryan posted a series of photos from a recent performance, complete with images of him in various poses, some serious, some comical on his Instagram account. As is often the case with celebrities, these posts were filled with comments from fans, friends, and fellow stars. But it was Blake Shelton's comment that stole the spotlight. Shelton, never one to miss an opportunity to poke fun at his longtime buddy, commented, "Man, you're so vain. How many mirrors do you think you have backstage?" The dig was classic Shelton, lighthearted, playful, and full of sass. But it also seemed to hit a little close to home, as Bryan is known for his easygoing charm, good looks, and his somewhat meticulous attention to his on-stage appearance. The country superstar has always been open about his desire to put on the best show possible, and part of that is making sure he looks the part. After all, country music may be about heartfelt lyrics and relatable stories, but that doesn't mean its stars can't enjoy a little glamour along the way. Bryan, of course, was quick to fire back. Not one to take a jab lying down, he replied to Shelton's comment with his own sarcastic wit. I'd rather be vain than be an old man stuck in a tree stand, Bryan wrote, referencing Shelton's well-known love for hunting and outdoor activities. The back-and-forth banter had fans of both artists in stitches, with many chiming in to take sides or simply enjoy the show. While this exchange was all in good fun, it also speaks to the broader dynamics of the friendship between Shelton and Bryan. Both men have risen to the top of the country music world, but they've done so in very different ways. Shelton, known for his deep voice, rugged charm, and traditional country roots, has always leaned into his image as the good old boy who loves the outdoors and a simpler way of life. Bryan, on the other hand, has built his career around a more polished pop country sound that appeals to a broader audience, all while maintaining his southern charm and charisma. This contrast in their personas has been the perfect fuel for their ongoing playful rivalry. Shelton's recent comment about Bryan's vanity wasn't just a random joke. It was a reflection of the dynamic between the two men, where Bryan is often painted as the pretty boy of country music, while Shelton plays the role of the rugged, down-to-earth man's man. But beneath all the teasing and jokes, it's clear that Shelton and Bryan have a deep respect for each other. Their careers have often intersected, whether it's through collaborations, tours, or appearances at award shows. Both have hosted major country music events, like the ACM Awards, where their on-stage chemistry has been a highlight for viewers. The two men know how to entertain, not just with their music, but with their personalities and humor as well. Shelton's trolling of Bryan also taps into a long-standing tradition in country music, ribbing your friends in a way that's affectionate, not mean-spirited. Country music has always been about storytelling, and part of that storytelling is the ability to poke fun at yourself and those around you. In this case, Shelton's comment about Bryan's supposed vanity isn't meant to hurt. It's a way of saying, we're friends, and I know you well enough to joke about this. In fact, the playful rivalry between Shelton and Bryan is one of the things that has endeared them to fans. In a world where celebrity feuds can often turn ugly or vindictive, Shelton and Bryan's exchanges feel refreshingly authentic. They're not trying to tear each other down instead. They're lifting each other up by showing that they don't take themselves too seriously. And in a genre like country, which values humility and authenticity, that's an important quality to have. This latest round of banter between Shelton and Bryan is just one example of how these two stars have managed to keep things light and fun in a competitive industry. While some artists might shy away from public rivalries, Shelton and Bryan have embraced it, turning their friendship into a sort of ongoing comedy routine. Whether it's Shelton teasing Bryan for being so vain, or Bryan poking fun at Shelton's hunting habits, the result is the same. Fans love it, and it keeps both stars at the center of the conversation. Of course, it's also worth noting that this kind of humor is part of the brand for both Shelton and Bryan. Shelton, in particular, has become known for his quick wit and his ability to make people laugh. As a coach on The Voice, he's constantly cracking jokes, and his social media presence reflects that same playful spirit. Bryan, meanwhile, has always been comfortable with a little self-deprecation, often making fun of his own dance moves or fashion choices in interviews and on stage. Ultimately, the playful trolling between Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan is a testament to their friendship and their understanding of what makes country music and its fans tick. While they might take shots at each other from time to time, it's all done with a smile and a wink. And in an industry that can often be cutthroat, their ability to keep things light is a reminder that,